Very early on, one of our founders, Joachim Gruber, had a desire to work in developing countries. In order to be resilient and continue on and be a 50-year, 100-year building, we really needed to understand that climate, the materiality, the needs of the people as well. And I would say that was kind of the origin of our sustainability resilient history.
It definitely seems like we have a 2030 culture here. We do a really good job of peer-to-peer learning and in-house learning, where we set aside time for folks from each project to explain and discuss what's going on in their project to the rest of the firm.
So that you get that information, you get that dialogue, that healthy dialogue that could then lead to future initiatives.
Contributions in the design quality, contributions in the efficiency of construction, and taking those chances and things are something that people can sign up for and want to be a part of.
I think one of the biggest things we've seen is even more importance on what we call an eco-charrette.
It's been part of our approach, is trying not to sell, but to talk about what is the best process to get you the best building, and people are receptive. Analytic design, I would say, is finding out what are the requirements that a client or a building has to serve.
We're talking about having the engineers and the owners and everyone's input be involved.
And then going further are, what are all of the climatic and site factors, and how do you put those together in a way that you can raise a brick in a way that moves men's soul.
Doing that early and repeating it many times throughout the initial design of the project is definitely something that's now become second nature in our design process. One project that really exemplifies that is a local project here in Portland, which is a multifamily housing project. That was an example where we had to do a lot of solar studies, just figure out how we could maximize the site and orient the units to get as much natural daylight as possible.
So you have to go back to some of the basics of understanding how to minimize heat gain, heat loss.
It's so important to continue to evolve and improve in this industry. And that's why it's important to understand when you put something out in the world, when you design a new building, when it's built, to understand that it's performing the way you designed it to perform. And if not, then why isn't it?
We've gone out and we've worked with, it's a group that you join. It's called the Center for the Built Environment. It's part of UC Berkeley. It's pushing sustainability research. And
it's very much also related to our post-occupancy evaluations. They have forms and studies and information that can be fed in from those post-occupancy evaluations as well. With the 2030 commitment, our next step right now is we're starting to look at embodied carbon of the buildings we produce.
And there's a move that we support as a firm in the United States. It's having some real impact, and that is for transparency and what goes into these materials.
The PDX Operations Center, which is out at the airport here in Portland, and it's a really large-scale project. Together with the client, the Port of Portland, we investigated options for carbon sequestration in the concrete. Carbon is being stored within the concrete and essentially taken out of the atmosphere, which is a really significant gain for the process of making new buildings.
Architects as a profession are somewhat risk adverse. We're perfectionists. We like to make goals that we know we can meet. And so I think one difference with our firm, one differentiator, is that we really have leadership and we have staff too that really want to push for the higher goals.
It's only something that can fail that has a chance of really making a difference. And right now, the time is moving very quickly toward a tipping point, if you want to call it that.
And it's all going back to that commitment to future generations and making sure that we are providing for their safety and security and comfort.